9 days. That is exactly how long Marcus Holloway's perfect marriage lasted before he became a double murderer. 9 days after an oceanfront wedding that cost $2 million, after vows spoken in front of 300 guests, after a honeymoon in Greece that was supposed to mark the beginning of forever, Marcus would stand in a downtown Miami condo with a loaded gun in his hand, looking at the two people who had destroyed his entire world. Before we show you how love turned into murder in less than 2 weeks, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Every detail of these 9 days will matter, and you won't want to miss a single second. The story begins not with rage, but with perfection. On a warm Saturday evening in mid-March, the Fontainebleau Miami beach transforms into a scene that belongs in a luxury magazine. White orchids flown in from Thailand line a runway that leads to an altar framed by the Atlantic Ocean. Crystal chandeliers hang above tables dressed in ivory silk. A 12-piece orchestra plays as guests in designer suits and evening gowns take their seats. This is not just a wedding. It is a statement of wealth, status, and control. Marcus Holloway, 34 years old, stands at the altar watching his bride approach. He has built his entire life toward this moment. Raised in a modest household in Fort Lauderdale, Marcus worked through college, took risks in real estate during the housing recovery, and turned distressed properties into profitable investments. By the time he proposes to Victoria Hayes, his portfolio is valued at $18 million. He is self-made, disciplined, and meticulous in every aspect of his business. Now he is applying that same precision to building a family. Victoria Hayes, 29, walks toward him in a custom Vera Wang gown that cost $87,000. She works as a senior marketing executive at a pharmaceutical company, pulling in a 6-figure salary of her own. To everyone watching, they are a power couple, young, attractive, successful, and deeply in love. Victoria's vows speak of trust, partnership, and building a future together. Marcus promises to protect her, honor her, and love her for the rest of his life. The applause is thunderous. The kiss is long and cinematic. Flash photography captures the moment from every angle. Standing beside Marcus as best man is Cole Davidson, 33. The two men met during their freshman year at the University of Miami and have remained close ever since. Cole works as a commercial real estate broker, often partnering with Marcus on deals. They have closed transactions together, vacationed in the Bahamas, attended Miami Heat games from courtside seats, and shared countless dinners and late-night conversations about business, women, and life. Marcus considers Cole more than a friend. He considers him a brother. What none of the 300 guests know, what Marcus himself does not know, is that the best man and the bride have been sleeping together for 8 months. The affair began quietly in late July of the previous year, at a business dinner where Marcus left early with food poisoning and Cole offered to drive Victoria home. One conversation led to another. One touch led to more. By September, they were meeting twice a week at Cole's condo in Coconut Grove, a waterfront unit with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Biscayne Bay. Victoria kept a second phone to communicate with Cole, a cheap Android device that she hid in her car, using it only when Marcus was not around. The messages between them were explicit, affectionate, and filled with plans. When Marcus proposed in December, presenting Victoria with a 5-carat diamond ring on a yacht in Biscayne Bay, she said yes without hesitation. But later that night, she sent Cole a message. He asked me to marry him. I said yes. I don't know what I'm doing. Cole's response was immediate. You're doing what you have to do. We'll figure this out. I love you. The wedding planning continued for 3 months. Victoria selected flowers, tasted cakes, and worked with the planner to create the event of the year. Meanwhile, she continued seeing Cole. They met at his condo the week before the rehearsal dinner. They exchanged messages on the morning of the wedding itself. At 7:22 a.m., less than 4 hours before the ceremony, Victoria texted Cole, "I wish things were different." He replied, "Me too. But we'll have our time." Now, as the reception begins and the sun sets over the Atlantic, Marcus dances with his new wife under string lights and thinks about the future. He has already chosen the neighborhood where they will raise children. He has mentally mapped out the next decade, growing his business, traveling with Victoria, building something stable and lasting. He trusts her completely. He trusts Cole completely. And that trust, more than anything else, is what will make the betrayal so devastating when it finally comes to light. The reception lasts until 2 in the morning. The final song plays, the last guests leave, and Marcus and Victoria retreat to their penthouse suite overlooking the ocean. They fall asleep in each other's arms, exhausted and content. In 9 days, one of them will be dead, and the other will be standing over the body with a gun still warm in his hand. The honeymoon begins the next morning. Marcus and Victoria board a first-class flight to Athens, then connect to Santorini, the Greek island Victoria mentioned once in passing as a place she had always wanted to see. Marcus remembered. He always remembers the details. That is how he operates, listening, planning, executing. He has rented a private villa in OIA, perched on the edge of a cliff with an infinity pool that seems to spill directly into the Aegean Sea. The cost for 10 days is $64,000, but Marcus does not think twice. This is an investment in their shared future. For the first 2 days, the honeymoon feels like everything Marcus imagined. They eat breakfast on the terrace as the sun rises over whitewashed buildings. They walk through narrow, cobblestone streets lined with shops selling handmade jewelry and local wine. They take a boat tour to the volcanic islands, swim in hot springs, and watch the sunset from a cliffside restaurant where the staff treats them like celebrities. Marcus takes hundreds of photos, Victoria laughing, Victoria holding a glass of wine against the blue sky, Victoria with her hair tangled in the wind. He uploads a few to social media with captions about feeling blessed and starting a new chapter. But underneath the surface, there are cracks. Victoria spends a significant amount of time on her phone, always with an explanation ready. A work crisis. A product launch gone wrong. Emails from her team that need immediate responses. Marcus believes her because he has no reason not to. He has built their entire relationship on trust. He has never checked her phone, never questioned her schedule, never doubted her word. That trust is about to become the thing that haunts him most. What Marcus does not know is that Victoria is texting Cole throughout the honeymoon. The messages are frequent and intimate. She tells him she misses him. She describes how strange it feels to be in Greece with Marcus while thinking about Cole. She talks about wishing she could be in 2 places at once, living 2 lives. Cole responds with patience and affection, telling her that they have time, that they will figure things out, that Marcus will never suspect. At one point, Cole sends a message that reads, "Enjoy the trip. When you get back, we'll pick up right where we left off." On the 5th day of the honeymoon, Marcus notices that Victoria seems distracted during dinner. She stares out at the ocean, barely touching her food. When he asks if something is wrong, she smiles and says she is just tired from all the walking. He accepts the answer. He always accepts her answers. Later that night, while Marcus is asleep, Victoria steps onto the terrace and sends Cole a video message, whispering that she cannot wait to see him again. The honeymoon ends on day 7. They pack their bags, say goodbye to the villa staff, and board the flight back to Miami. Marcus feels a mix of exhaustion and contentment. He has given Victoria the trip of a lifetime, and now they are returning home to begin their real life together. He talks about starting to look for a bigger house, maybe something with more land, a place where they can eventually raise a family. Victoria nods and smiles, but her mind is elsewhere. She is already planning when she can see Cole next. They land in Miami on a Sunday afternoon, day 8 of their marriage. The air is thick and humid, a stark contrast to the dry heat of Santorini. Marcus drives them home to Coral Gables, to the house he renovated with Victoria in mind long before he proposed. It is a 4-bedroom property with high ceilings, marble floors, a pool surrounded by royal palms, and a master suite with a walk-in closet the size of most people's bedrooms. He designed it for her. Every detail was chosen with her preferences in mind. As they walk through the door, Victoria immediately opens windows to air out the house. She seems restless, checking her phone constantly. Marcus suggests ordering dinner from her favorite Italian restaurant. She agrees, but the conversation feels forced. She is present physically but absent mentally, and Marcus attributes it to jet lag. He does not push. He never pushes. That evening, as they sit by the pool eating takeout, Victoria receives a text. She glances at the screen and smiles slightly before putting the phone face down on the table. Marcus notices but does not comment. In his mind, there is no reason to be suspicious. He has no idea that the text is from Cole, welcoming her back and suggesting they meet soon. He has no idea that in less than 24 hours, everything he believes about his life will be shattered by a cheap Android phone hidden under the seat of his wife's car. The next morning, still day 8, a Monday, Victoria wakes early and tells Marcus she needs to go into the office. There is a crisis with a product launch, she explains, something that has been brewing since before the wedding and now requires her immediate attention. Marcus is disappointed. He had hoped they would spend the day together, easing back into normal life, but he understands. Work is important. He kisses her goodbye and watches her drive away in her white Range Rover. With Victoria gone, Marcus decides to make the day productive. He unpacks their suitcases, sorts through mail that has piled up during their absence, and organizes the wedding gifts that were delivered while they were away. Around midday, he remembers something practical. Before they left for the honeymoon, Victoria had complained that her Range Rover desperately needed a deep cleaning. The interior was dusty, the exterior was covered in pollen, and she had mentioned wanting to get it detailed but had not had time. Marcus decides to surprise her. He will take the car to a detailing shop and have it professionally cleaned as a small gesture of care. He finds the spare key in the kitchen drawer where they keep miscellaneous items, extra car keys, phone chargers, batteries. He drives the Range Rover to a well-reviewed detailing place on Ponce de Leon Boulevard, a 15-minute drive from the house. The business is small but reputable, with good online reviews and a loyal customer base. Marcus drops off the car, provides his contact information, and settles into the waiting area with his phone, scrolling through photos from Santorini and responding to messages from friends asking about the honeymoon. 45 minutes pass. Then one of the detailers approaches Marcus, holding something in a gloved hand. It is a phone, an older Android model with a cracked screen and a cheap plastic case. The detailer explains that it was wedged deep under the front passenger seat, almost invisible unless someone was doing a thorough vacuum job. He did not want to throw it away in case it belonged to Marcus or his wife. Marcus takes the phone, confused. Victoria uses an iPhone, the latest model. He has never seen this Android before. Curious, he presses the power button. The screen lights up. Battery at 34%. And there is no password. No lock screen. Just a home screen cluttered with messaging apps. His confusion shifts to something else, a faint sense of unease. He opens the main messaging app. The most recent conversation is at the top, labeled simply with the letter C. Marcus taps it. The thread opens, and what he sees in the first 5 seconds is enough to stop his breathing. Messages between Victoria and someone named Cole. Messages that go back 8 months. Messages filled with intimacy, affection, and explicit detail. Photos Victoria has sent, photos Marcus has never seen, photos taken in unfamiliar places. Plans to meet at addresses Marcus does not recognize. Confessions of love. Discussions about how to hide the relationship from Marcus. References to nights spent together while Marcus was traveling for work. Marcus scrolls up, moving backward through time. The affair started in late July. By August, it was happening twice a week. In September, Victoria and Cole were already talking about the future, about what they would do if Marcus ever found out. In October, Marcus proposed. Victoria texted Cole that same night. "He asked me to marry him. I don't know what to do." Cole's response, "Say yes. We'll figure the rest out later." Marcus keeps scrolling. Messages from the week before the wedding. From the day before the wedding. From the morning of the wedding itself, sent just hours before Victoria walked down the aisle toward him. And then messages from the honeymoon. Messages sent while they were in Santorini, while Marcus slept beside her, while he believed they were building a life together. He sits frozen in the waiting area, the phone trembling slightly in his hands. Around him, other customers come and go, mechanics work on cars, the television in the corner plays a news program. But Marcus hears none of it. His entire reality is collapsing inward, reshaping itself around this new, unbearable truth. The detailer calls his name. The Range Rover is ready. Marcus stands, moves mechanically to the counter, pays with a credit card he does not remember handing over, and walks to the car. He sits in the driver's seat for several minutes, staring at the phone, rereading messages, trying to find some alternate explanation that makes sense. There is none. The evidence is overwhelming, detailed, and irrefutable. He drives home slowly, his mind cycling through memories that now have new context. Every business trip where he trusted Victoria. Every time Cole came to their house for dinner and sat across the table, smiling, joking, acting like a loyal friend. The bachelor party Cole organized in Las Vegas. The rehearsal dinner where Cole gave a speech about loyalty and brotherhood. The wedding itself. Cole standing beside him at the altar, knowing that he had been sleeping with Victoria for months. By the time Marcus pulls into his driveway, something inside him has fundamentally changed. The pain is there, sharp, suffocating, relentless, but underneath it is something colder. A sense of clarity. A realization that the life he thought he was living was a performance staged for his benefit while the people he loved most conducted their real lives in secret. He does not confront Victoria when she comes home that evening. He does not scream or demand explanations. Instead, he hides the Android phone in his office and greets her normally, asking about her day, listening to her elaborate lies about the work crisis. He watches her lie to his face with the same ease she has been lying for 8 months, and he feels nothing except a growing certainty about what needs to happen next. Marcus does not sleep that night. While Victoria lies beside him, breathing softly, unaware that her secret has been discovered, Marcus sits in his office with the door locked, scrolling through the Android phone for hours. He reads every message. He watches every video. He studies every photo. By the time the sun rises on day 9, a Monday morning, he has absorbed every detail of the betrayal, and he has made a decision. Most people, when confronted with infidelity, respond with confrontation, tears, or legal action. They hire divorce lawyers. They demand explanations. They try to salvage what remains or walk away with dignity. Marcus does none of those things. Instead, he applies the same methodical, emotionless approach he uses in business. He identifies the problem, assesses his options, and moves toward a solution with cold precision. The problem is not just that Victoria cheated. The problem is that she and Cole made a fool of him. They stood beside him at his wedding, smiled in his face, accepted his trust, and laughed behind his back. For 8 months, they treated his love as something disposable, something they could exploit while living their real lives in secret. And that, more than the affair itself, is what Marcus cannot forgive. By mid-morning, Marcus has a plan. He sends Cole a casual text from his regular phone. "Want to grab a drink this week? Catch up after the honeymoon." Cole responds almost immediately, warm and friendly, calling him brother, suggesting they meet soon. The performance continues, even now. Even after everything. Marcus checks the Android phone and finds what he expected. New messages between Victoria and Cole, sent that very morning. They are already planning to meet. Victoria tells Cole that Marcus is jet-lagged and distracted, that she can slip away that evening without raising suspicion. Cole agrees. They set a time. They choose his condo in Coconut Grove, the same place they have been meeting for months. Marcus now has a location, a time, and an opportunity. What he needs next is a method. Around noon, he drives to a gun store in Homestead, a 40-minute trip south of Miami. He chooses a location far enough from his usual neighborhoods to avoid running into anyone he knows. Inside, he purchases a 9mm pistol legally, providing his identification, completing the required paperwork, and paying in cash. Florida law mandates a 3-day waiting period for most buyers, but Marcus qualifies for an exemption based on a concealed carry permit he obtained years earlier for personal protection. He walks out of the store with the weapon and a box of ammunition. On the drive back, Marcus tests the gun at a remote area near the Everglades, firing rounds into trees to familiarize himself with the weight, the recoil, the mechanics. He is not an experienced shooter, but at close range, experience will not matter. What matters is decisiveness. What matters is not hesitating when the moment comes. By mid-afternoon, Marcus is back home. Victoria returns from work around 6, dressed more carefully than usual. A black dress, heels, makeup applied with precision. She tells Marcus she has a late dinner meeting with colleagues to discuss the ongoing work crisis. She will probably be out until midnight. Marcus nods, tells her to drive safely, and watches her leave. As soon as her car is out of sight, he checks the Android phone. Her location is active. She drives toward Coconut Grove, exactly as planned. Marcus waits 30 minutes to give her time to settle in, then he changes into dark, nondescript clothing, jeans, a black t-shirt, running shoes. He places the loaded pistol in a small backpack along with gloves and plastic bags for shell casings. He is not trying to commit a perfect crime, but he sees no reason to leave obvious evidence. He drives to Coconut Grove, parking several blocks away from Cole's building in an area with minimal street lighting. He has been to the building before. Cole hosted a party there once, and Marcus helped him close the purchase when he bought the unit. He knows the layout, the entry points, the elevator system. At 8:04 p.m., Marcus approaches the side entrance of the building, the one residents use when returning from the parking garage. A young couple exits just as he arrives. Marcus catches the door before it closes, nodding politely as if he belongs there. They do not question him. No one ever questions confident people. He takes the elevator to the 14th floor. The hallway is carpeted, quiet, and empty. Unit 1407 is at the end of the hall. Marcus walks slowly, his heart rate steady, his hands dry. He has spent his entire adult life making high-stakes decisions under pressure. This, in his mind, is no different. A problem has been identified. A solution is being executed. He stands outside the door for 27 seconds, listening. Music plays inside, jazz, low and ambient. He hears Victoria's laugh, bright and genuine in a way she has not laughed with him in months. And in that moment, standing in a carpeted hallway with a loaded gun in his backpack, Marcus crosses a threshold that most people never approach. He stops being the victim of betrayal and becomes something else entirely. He knocks twice. Firm. Confident. The kind of knock that says, "I belong here." We're halfway through this story, and the next chapter is where everything explodes. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because you won't want to miss what happens in the next 6 minutes. Footsteps approach the door. The lock clicks. Cole appears, holding red wine, his expression shifting from casual to confused to terrified in 2 seconds flat. "Marcus? What are you?" Marcus pushes inside, forcing Cole backward. The condo is modern, all white furniture and floor-to-ceiling windows. Victoria sits on the couch in the black dress she claimed to wear to a work dinner. Her wine glass slips from her hand. "Marcus," she stammers. "This isn't what." "Don't," he says. One word. Sharp as a blade. He closes the door, locks it. The click echoes. Cole raises his hands, trying to calm him. "Brother, listen. We can talk about this. Let's just—" Marcus pulls the pistol from his backpack. Victoria gasps. Cole freezes mid-sentence, wine glass still tilted in his hand. 8 months, Marcus says, voice flat and cold. You stood beside me at my wedding. You toasted my marriage. And the whole time, you were sleeping with my wife. Victoria's voice cracks. Please, Marcus. We can explain. Explain what? His tone doesn't rise. That's what makes it terrifying. I read every message. I saw the videos. I know everything. Cole takes a breath, searching for words that might save his life. I know we betrayed you. But this isn't you. Think about what you're about to. Marcus doesn't let him finish. 2 shots. Chest and throat. Cole collapses onto the white carpet, blood spreading fast. Victoria screams. She bolts toward the bedroom, heels catching on the rug. She makes it 4 steps. 1 shot. Between the shoulder blades. She falls face down, one arm stretched toward the door she'll never reach. Silence. Except for the jazz still playing from the kitchen speaker and a wet, gurgling sound from Cole's body. Marcus stands motionless. Then moves with cold efficiency. He collects the shell casings. Wipes the door handle. Checks both bodies. No pulse. He pauses at Victoria's side, staring at the diamond ring glinting on her finger. His jaw tightens. Then he turns and walks out. The entire event, knock to exit, takes 2 minutes and 43 seconds. By 8:30 p.m., Marcus is driving home. By 9 p.m., he's sitting by his pool with whiskey, the gun locked in his office safe. The man who married 9 days ago is gone. In his place sits a killer, waiting for the inevitable knock on his door. If you're still watching, you need to see how investigators piece this together. Don't click away. The next 3 minutes show how fast it all falls apart. The bodies are found at 11:47 p.m. A neighbor notices Cole's door ajar, pushes it open, and stumbles backward at the scene inside. The 911 call brings Miami-Dade police within 7 minutes. By 3 a.m., detectives have identified both victims. Victoria Holloway, married 9 days earlier. Cole Davidson, the best man at that wedding. The connection is immediate and damning. When police arrive at Marcus's door at 3:20 a.m. to inform him, his performance is flawless. Shock, confusion, collapsing against the doorframe when they say Victoria is dead. But Detective Sarah Reyes has seen grief before. This feels rehearsed. The investigation moves fast. Traffic cameras place Marcus's car near Cole's building at the time of the murders, contradicting his claim he was home all night. Phone records show suspicious gaps. A search warrant on his house uncovers the pistol in his office safe. Ballistics confirm it's the murder weapon. And buried in Victoria's car, investigators find the Android phone, 8 months of messages documenting the affair in brutal detail. Marcus is arrested on day 16. His defense argues crime of passion, temporary insanity triggered by discovering the betrayal. But prosecutors dismantle that story with evidence. The gun purchase, the calculated approach, the methodical cleanup. This wasn't rage. This was execution. The trial lasts 3 weeks. The jury takes 11 hours. Guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder. Marcus Holloway is sentenced to life without parole, 9 months after his $2 million wedding. In prison, Marcus gives one interview. When asked if he regrets it, his answer chills the room: "I don't regret killing them. I regret loving people who never existed." Victoria's family says she deserved a chance to explain. Cole's mother campaigns for gun control, saying access to firearms turned rage into irreversible tragedy. And in Coral Gables, Marcus's dream house sits empty. the pool drained, the gardens overgrown. No one wants to live where a killer spent his last night of freedom. 9 days. That's all it took for a fairy tale wedding to become a double homicide. From altar to prison. From trust to murder. Some betrayals end in divorce. Marcus Holloway's ended with 3 bullets and 2 bodies on a white carpet. If this story made you rethink everything you thought about love and revenge, subscribe now and turn on notifications. We cover more real cases where secrets and lies collide, with consequences no one can undo. Thanks for watching. And remember, when love becomes murder, there are no winners, only victims.